There were, I can maybe say, several moments that I can say, because it is often felt there was one and everything is finished. There have been some profound moments of seeing an impact of recognition that took place for me. And there's also been some other period where there's been a kind of sober simulating. And all of it is together part of this awakening, if you may say, into the full recognition of what really is truth. So I can call in some moment and say, okay, this was a very, very important moment. But I might be speaking about a moment that created a huge shift in consciousness, in self-perceiving, self-perception, but it didn't completely finish off what you may call ego or identity. It maybe blasted the sense of identity apart, and then sometimes there's kind of a regrouping of certain ideas, and again another powerful impact washes out huge impressions of conditioning or so on. So for me, I would have to say that it was a sort of gradual thing, a gradual cleansing out of the stigma of identity. I could say that there was the meeting. First of all, there was a meeting in London, which took place in the form of a prayer. And this point was a tremendous change from what my life was conceived of before. And after this explosion, there was a complete renewal, I feel, of who I understood myself to be and the quality and depth of the experiencing. That I could say, yes, that was that. But then I also remember years later in 1993 meeting my Guruji, my master, Sri Punjaji, that another very powerful transformation took place. And you can never just say, okay, in this moment, then nothing else existed. For me, it was a continuous blast of certain depth of identification that keep on wearing out. I'd rather put it like that. I don't know. In one way I can say it took a second. Another time I can say it took a few years. Maybe 4 or 5 years, over a period of 4 or 5 years. There were some transitions occurring for me. Oftentimes I speak about it, that the first breakthrough into that conviction and direct experience of the Supreme Presence or Being took place in 1987. After this prayer, some shift took place. And then, again, in 1993, on meeting Sri Punjaji, something else took place. That also was a tremendous breaking away of remaining ideas I have inside about who I am. So, for this conversation, I say maybe 4 years or so. Within a space of 4 years. Then the vestiges of identity completely eroded, I can put it like that. Well, life was simply not taken personally. It was life, but it wasn't happening to me. It was just happening, including the happening that took place in this body, was just occurring. That became very, very clear that I'm not the doer of actions and the thinker of thoughts. That was the most profound insight that took place. So something stopped bothering about it. So if thoughts come, they are coming. The most powerful thoughts were the thoughts containing a certain seeds of identity. Then usually that would take your attention. But they were not leaving such a strong impression inside anymore. So I didn't concern myself about it. Yes. It's bound to be for any being. If somehow you overcome this belief in your personal identity, if you can see that that is a construct, it is the outcome of maybe conditioning and education, and that almost all the sentient beings experience some form of conditioning somehow. But you come to see that that cannot be what you are, because you are the witness of this. You are the noticer of all of this. And somehow that becomes your profound intuitive insight that you see this. Then there cannot be any residential concepts that is kept as being sacred. One sees that concepts, nothing's eternal about them. They are possibilities, but they are not actualities. And somehow what is left is just a space of being. This is what is there. And nobody can claim to be an achiever of that. It's just what is left. When you, the one who is searching to get there, is not there in that way.